We have talked to many people who've been surprised by the results of a DNA test.
A lot of them, and tonight you'll meet a Tacoma woman who says her DNA test connected with a man she now calls her donor dad. Only Kyra 7's Matthew Smith explains how this discovery gave her a second family.
Well, this story starts with a simple school assignment. Kyra Wien, then in 8th grade, was told to break down her parents' traits and track them back to her. One problem here, eye color. Mom has blue eyes, so does dad. I'll skip the bulk of the biology lesson, but bottom line, Kyra and her hazel eyes didn't make much sense. And that's how a teenage girl found out her dad wasn't her biological dad.
We ended up not really talking about it, and so there was always this sense of something missing.
Finding out she was the product of a sperm donation rocked Kyra's world in the 90s. She didn't know it then, but answers were years away.
They are more willing to have anonymous contacts.
Nowadays, sperm donations, artificial insemination, it's all so common. Tutorials, explainers, it's all online. But in those early years, there were no commercialized sperm banks. All Kyra knew is that she was born in Albuquerque. There were still a lot of question marks. Her family would quickly make a move to Fort Collins, and little did she know, her biological dad would be less than an hour away. Yeah, for 11 years, they were just a short car ride away, but it was never going to be that simple. This isn't that type of story.
We are all trying to answer these questions. We are all trying to figure out how we love and how we feel loved.
Life took hold. We'll skip some of the places, but Kyra started her own family far away in D.C. before ultimately finding her way to Tacoma.
Hi, and welcome to 23andMe.
Now the world is shrinking. Companies like 23andMe make it possible to connect. And that's when Kyra's connections started to make sense. After a match, Kyra quickly reached out. Then, nothing. Well, not until a year later.
He wrote to me in one of his early emails. He was like, "Will you like me? Will we ever meet?" And he had that same kind of vulnerability and wanting to connect that I did. Oh, hi, Frank.
It hasn't taken long for a real connection to form.
Well, here we are.
The main motivation was the helping couples start a family.
It turns out Frank worked at the University of New Mexico's OBGYN. Pained him to see would-be parents try without success to have kids.
To me, that makes me feel wanted and loved, right? That it was really a gift of service.
Go, Kyra! Things have moved so quickly, Frank and his son flew to Arizona to watch Kyra compete in Ironman. But that first meeting?
We both broke into tears and hugged each other.
At a wedding. Her half-brother's wedding that she'd never even met until then.
It was instant. The moment I saw him, I knew.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful to see another me.
And if you're wondering what happened with the family she grew up with, well, Kyra tells me Dad will always be Dad.
He said, "I can understand how this gap you've always had, you now get to fill that in, and that makes me happy for you."
In the end, Kyra, a stepmom herself, says this story is for everyone. DNA connections are teaching us that family is more than some traditional Norman Rockwell-esque picture.
Our idea of family and what that means is changing. So I think for all of us, we're doing this work of trying to figure out what family means.
So what's next for Kyra? Well, her and her new family, they're talking, planning meetups, and the sister she grew up with, well, she's now searching for her biological father too, meaning the family could actually get bigger. Matthew Smith, Kyra 7 News.